finally, a look toward the future.
I know this is not the ceremony you had in mind.
The UConn class of 2020 graduated online to the sights and sounds of a mostly empty but entirely hopeful auditorium.
Congratulations.
I was sitting in my professor's office hours trying to work on a math problem. A different professor came out and shouted, "That's it, it's over, going home, classes are remote." I think I spent about 10 more minutes trying to solve the problem I was working on before the gravity of the situation started to sink in, and I realized, what am I doing?
The University of Washington became the nation's first large college to close its classrooms, saying it will cancel in-person classes and have students take classes and exams remotely instead.
Stanford and Harvard, they're canceling classes or they're going to online learning, not just for a couple of weeks, but for the rest of the year.
Around the world, communities are taking drastic measures to curtail the spread of coronavirus. For many colleges and universities, that means canceling events and classes, closing dorms, and dramatically disrupting the lives of students and faculty. In the United States so far, 1,102 colleges and universities have closed their campuses due to coronavirus, choosing to move classes online. Georgetown professor Brian Alexander estimates that college closures have impacted over 14 million students so far. While students, professors, administrators, and public health officials agree that school closures will play an important role in limiting the transmission of coronavirus, this bold move is causing a ripple effect throughout the higher education community.
It all escalated really quickly.
In the last week, it's been really crazy.
It sucks a lot, I think, for people who are seniors.
So as someone who's really not had a lot of experience with online, I was a little frantic. I was a little scared.
About last week, Wednesday, March 11th, there were rumors during the day going around saying that the school was going to close.
I'm from Maryland, so I flew home last night from Davidson. The administration sent us an email saying that we all needed to move out of residence halls immediately if we could.
Initially, I was really excited because I didn't think it was that serious. But as time has gone on, and now that we're, fully doing classes without meeting in person, it's a lot harder than I thought.
I'm not mad that they've closed the school because I think it would have been irresponsible not to do so.
A big part of coming away to do a master's is not just about what you're learning in class, but it's about meeting new people and being in a community and engaging with your faculty and guest speakers and conferences, and all of that's obviously gone now.
Once a new reality set in, students were faced with some logistical challenges. First, there's the issue of housing.
But my roommate is gone. This dorm room definitely feels much emptier without her.
The only undergrads that were allowed to stay on campus were international students, students who have suppressed immune systems, and then other students who are homeless or who don't have a home to go back to.
So they've already said that they're going to prorate our housing, our room and board. I would be very frustrated if they didn't decide to do that.
I'm in an Airbnb right now. Despite the college's offer to pay for Wi-Fi, things are difficult nonetheless. Students can't really go to libraries. You may just not physically have working space.
For students who are housing or food insecure, school closures have exacerbated these issues.
The long-term effects are kind of hard to know, but in general, when you have vulnerable populations, an emergency hits them, it tends to make their life situation worse, just as a sort of general statement. And so I think overall, that's what we're going to see. And the worst thing, I think, is we will potentially could see a lot of students who are right on the tipping point of maybe leaving college, leave and not come back because this was the emergency that tipped them over the edge. And if colleges don't figure out how to support those students well, they might lose them permanently.
I'm staying with a friend right now. They said if you could do it within 48 hours, please come and get all your stuff out of your dorm. So we're going to be driving back up to get all our stuff and move it out of our dorm.
Davidson's providing a lot of support. So student government, we bought 2 storage lockers, 10 by 20, and we'd say about 5 to 10% of students on campus are utilizing our storage lockers for free. So they have storage until September when we come back. And we're also providing free shuttles to the airport.
And then there are international students.
For me, being here means that I can still access my classes in real time, pending this virtual arrangement all working out. I have access to healthcare, so for now I'm going to stick it out, but just kind of seeing how this plays out and hoping that I don't get stuck here for any longer than a few months in the event that I do need to go home or that I have any visa issues or anything like that.
When it comes to costs like tuition, room and board, schools are taking various approaches.
I'm not super satisfied. I mean, there was a push, and there's been a push, obviously, to lower tuition just because classes are going to be taught online. The university has said that tuition will not change.
I think it's fair to ask for at least a partial refund on classes as well, just considering the huge drop in quality.
They've allowed us to stay on campus if we need to, which is something that other colleges haven't done, notably. They're refunding half of our housing. And just this morning, we got an email that for this semester only, all of our classes can be designated as pass-fail if we wish.
Over at New York University, students have started a petition.
I would like to see a calculation around how much money is being saved by this remote instruction and using that to factor in to a kind of refund to give to the students. That seems like the fairest thing for me, I think.
Students like Aaron are now paying big prices for an online education product that has historically cost significantly less, and that some believe is less valuable.
I mean, I regularly teach face-to-face, but I have taught some online courses in the last 5 years. At the end of the day, I think they're different experiences. I prefer the face-to-face experience, but at the same time, I think I'm biased. I grew up being educated in the face-to-face experience. The initial part of my career, I taught face-to-face, so I tend to think that feeling of, especially in a small seminar, when things click between the group, including the faculty member, but also the students, is something difficult to replicate online.
The thing that's the hardest, though, is just not to have the students face-to-face, because that's the only way I've ever taught. I've taught for 35 years, and I've never taught in an online teaching situation.
And many students agree.
I can already tell from just the 3 or 4 Zoom classes that I've had that they're not going to be the same quality of education that I'm used to and that I came to school for. If you're in a 200-person lecture and one person forgets to mute themselves, then that's just chaos.
Because I'm a neuroscience student, so I need to complete specific lab requirements in order to graduate. And the labs for my cognitive neuro class have been suspended. They're still trying to figure out how to issue credit for that.
I think the professors so far have been doing a really good job of saying this is the challenge and this is the new medium that we have to work with, and not only saying how do we cope with that, but how do we take advantage of that.
The reason students like these shell out tens of thousands of dollars on a college education is because their experience is about so much more than online lectures.
A lot of the stuff that I really enjoy about being at school is the things I can do outside of class, like improv and music and comedy and stuff like that.
American students are not alone in this adjustment. From China to the UK, colleges and universities around the world have closed their doors in order to address COVID-19 concerns.
We don't know what's happening with our exams, when our exams are supposed to happen.
What's next for students as they try to wrap up their school year?
So I think graduation will definitely be cancelled, and all the kind of events associated with graduation will obviously all be cancelled.
I really want us to have a graduation. It would honestly break my heart if the school just mailed us our diploma.
A lot of people are talking about what it's going to be like graduating into a recession, which is what it's looking like.
So to be honest, a lot of my friends actually don't have jobs at the moment, and I think the job market for us is just going to get so much tougher now, because obviously we're going to go through this big a big period of economic uncertainty.
But despite all of this, college careers cut short, financial difficulties, and professional woes, students like these remain remarkably resilient. Some may even say optimistic.
I find solace in the idea that this is something that probably every college senior, I think, in the US is going through in one way or another.
We just need to remember that we're not the only ones, and this is temporary inconvenience. We'll push through and we'll be okay.
I've heard like the terms optimistic nihilism thrown around a lot. I think that people kind of like find their way to be happy, considering that we're entering like the second recession that I've like witnessed in my life.
You cannot be pessimistic at a time like this. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful that everything is just going to turn out fine.
Coronavirus changing life for the class of 2020, with some universities postponing graduation ceremonies or opting to live stream them as seniors are concerned about entering a workforce more focused on layoffs than recruiting. Alex Hogan is live in New York City with more on all of that. Hey, Alex, a lot of uncertainty there.
That's right, Sandra. More than 3 million university seniors will not walk across the stage, and that's because of COVID-19. Different universities are taking different approaches to this, but after years of studies, this is not the culmination of a college career that these students expected.
It was immediate tears down my face and a call to my mom.
I'm actually a first-generation college student, so it was important.
Everyone's sad and angry and just confused.
Many universities are offering a live-streamed ceremony complete with musical performances and your name read just like it would be in person. Former Secretary Hillary Clinton is joining forces with John Legend and Jimmy Fallon to offer students several commencement speeches online. Other schools have left the decision up to a vote from seniors, and many say they still want that in-person ceremony, but after the pandemic. Students will receive their diploma, but this year after walk to the mailbox. Syracuse University Vice Chancellor Mike Haney says that it's important for his school to offer a commencement experience to the graduating class.
We recognize that we have a legal obligation to actually award degrees so that our students can go on into the workforce, pursue graduate school, etc.
As students wrap up their final studies online, many of them are trying to grapple with the loss of job offers and the growing number of jobless claims.
The anxieties of going into a job market that is more focused right now on who they're about to lay off rather than who they're about to hire.
We all had great internships that could have potentially launched us into our careers, and they got cut.
And for high school seniors who are looking forward to going away to college, they might have to wait a little bit longer because Boston University, among one university, announcing that it might keep campus closed until 2020.